So I just tried to record this whilst it was actually doing its Set-Finder work, but it caused the recording software to fail. So anyway, I'm going to do this after the event, but I'm going to talk you through step by step. So first things first, I've ran some backtests over the last 48 hours using Backtest Kicker. All of the data from Backtest Kicker saves in XML form. All I've done then is created a folder and dropped all of them XML files in. As you can see here, it saves it with a backtest version and a forward version. And what I've tested here are range files, trend files, and using the inverse function on news. So I can pause on my main sets and then trade a different set of parameters for just the 4 hours on a news event to catch some momentum as well. So as you can see, there's 3 batches of files per pair. So what we then need to do is make sure the Set-Finder template is within the same directory, and make sure your inputs are set already in the Set-Finder template in terms of what you're trying to achieve. So here's a look at mine. I've got my profit matches set above. Feel free to read those on there. My recovery factors are set at 3 and 1, and I've got 0 on the forward result. And this is because sometimes low trade volume gives that a low number when in fact the results are fine. Especially when we're running a 10-week backtest with only a 2-week walk forward, we're going to get low scores there just because of the trade volume not helping that metric, okay? That KPI, how it's measured and monitored. I've got my drawdown in at 1500 just because I'm comfortable that that's the maximum level I want to sort of base my lot sizes on, just because, you know, it's not going to always be at 1500. Most of the time in the live markets, I'll be much lower than that because that's the peak of the measurement. So I'd then look to combine maybe 10 to 13 sets of what I've got here and look at the diversification, accept the logic that I'm going to be in different drawdown, in different trades, open at different times. I can then choose to either set an individual max risk per strategy, or by all means, I could not do that and just run a global EP on the account. So a global equity point on the account. There is no right or wrong to that. That is all down to you weighing up the pros and cons and you making that decision for you. So then all we do, so just to summarize, all my XML files and the Set-Finder template are in the same directory and my Set-Finder parameters are set. We would then open the Set-Finder and all we simply need to do there is point that to this directory, okay? And set the dates that we've used in our backtest and set the balance in. Mine's 100,000. When we click start, now this took 4 minutes, okay? 4 minutes to recode these XML files to CSV files, to then combine them into a document, to filter them and to create them in an individual Set-Finder template Excel, all without you having to copy, paste, filter, sort, whatever. The amount of time saved from that 4 minutes is absolutely colossal, considering how many sets of data that's just done. And not only would it take you ages, but your brain would be fried having to do that manually. So if we go into here, it's basically then puts all of the original files that you don't now need into a separate directory folder, okay? And it then gives you, I've got about 13 here, Set-Finder template files based on that data ready for me to have a look at. So all I would need to do is open that file for USD yen trend, and this gives me a ranking per profit based on my target drawdown. So basically, for example, this one here, the top one, only has a backtest drawdown of 0.17%. So what that tells me is that we need to increase that starting lot size by 6.5 to base it in line with the max drawdown set. All I would do is I would sanity check that on my result. And what we would do now, which I'm going to show you in a separate video because, well, it'll come after this, is I'm going to find either that pass number, which is 3809, or I'm just going to find the exact backtest profit of 1802.09 in the backtesting history for this test, so I can see the equity graph. And from there, I can just save the set file of USD trend and I'm good to go on that account. I'd need to repeat that for this data and the other XLS files that are saved. But the main thing is, instead of me perusing and reviewing all of the data in the files, all I'm doing is the end bit, which is going in, final sanity check, save, good to go. So this is a huge time saver. Credit to Chris, credit to Jake. We've got loads of other different things going on with what Bryce has created as well. So huge leap forwards in making this bit of the process as simple as it is ever going to be. So I'll take you to the next bit of the video now where I find that backtest profit or the pass number and run the backtest. So here we go. So how did I find this? So what I did was I checked my backtest kicker terminal here just to check what order the one I'm checking it was done. So it's the third USD yen is the trend one. So basically then you go to optimization results. You would select the EA, the server, and then I check the third one. The third one would be this one. Okay, and then the profit that I'm trying to find was the 1802, which you can see there, 180209. So all I'm going to do now is find that exact profit in the backtest. The reason being is that the past numbers, as you can see there, have disappeared, which is fine. So 180209 was the number. 18, here we go. So that's those parameters that I'm looking to run. So we'll click, right click and run single test. So here's the single test. Lovely jubbly. Now I could remove the forward bit and then save this ready to drop into Quant Analyzer, but the hard work's already been done. And this has all been done automatically, remember. We just ran the fast opt, we let backtest kicker do the work. All we need to do now is use the lot multiplier here. So obviously this told us that if I'm using that top one, it's actually the third best, but it says to times it by 6.5. So if I go over here, the lot size would need to be 0.65 to make it in line with my risk, because currently the drawdown's only 224. I'm looking to increase the risk on this set because it's got loads of room in line with my risk appetite. So this is up to 14,000 backtest. Here we go, 1461 maximal drawdown, a strategy that I can use now combined with a load of other strategies. There's the back test. All I would do now is click on the inputs tab, right click save and call that USD yen trend, and we're good to go. It literally is as simple as that. This has all done the work for me. I've then found the set file, ran it, saved it, checked it, good to go. So here's a follow on from all of that work. So if I go to load report, I've just literally sent myself these HTML files from my own upload to the Google Drive, which is here. I've just uploaded my files from my testing PC into this. I've then uploaded 9 set files into here. So I've got a trend file, a range file, and a whilst news is running file. So there's 9 there. If I click here and create portfolio, you'll then see that over the course of them 3 months, that is some very powerful data. Okay, now this is risking 1,500 per set in effective maximal drawdown. So I'm gonna review now next how I wanna set up my risk. But even if I were to hit global EPs, I quite fancy the fact that this is gonna recover quite quickly. So that's my next stage really.